Testing, testing. Is this going through? Is this going through? Let's see. I am currently on the YouTube app, and I don't know if this is working. It is saying that it should be. Let me go to the website and see for myself. Gonna go to view my channel, go to live. No, it says it hasn't started yet. What is up with that? What is up with that? Uh, what is up with that? Oh, okay. I think we might be underway. I think we might be underway. There might just be a little stream delay. Yeah, there's just a little stream delay. Testing?
It's your craft. It's not DIY.
Oh, okay. I
Test.
think we might be on. What is up with that?
Sorry,
oh,
guys,
okay.
I'm just testing.
I think we might be underway. I think we might be underway. There might be a little stream delay. Oh, okay. I think we might be on. What is up with that?
Sorry, guys, I'm just
Okay, yeah, we're underway. We just have a little stream delay, but that's okay. That's not the end of the world. But I am very excited that we have this going. So, guys, I am here to talk about my experiences in Serbia. Sorry, there are a lot of difficulties on my end. Is there a way so I can get the chat up so I don't have to look at another phone? Settings. Settings. I can't find anything. Okay, that's okay. I'll be monitoring the chat through my phone, which I also have. So I am here, everyone, to talk about my experiences in Belgrade, Serbia. I am so excited that I have the opportunity to be living in Serbia. I mean, it's just something for me that I have always wanted to do. Literally, I have always been wanting to study in Serbia. I have always had this fascination with this country ever since I was really little. Literally from the time of Novak Djokovic. Djokovic is literally actually what piqued my interest in Serbia at first. So I know it sounds crazy. I was always a big tennis fan growing up. I grew up literally 15-minute train ride from the US Open. So I wouldn't go to US Open that much, but from a very young age, I was a Novak Djokovic fan, and me being like 8 years old, being like, "What in the world is Serbia? Where is Serbia?" Because seeing that that's Djokovic's country. Well, moving forward as I got older, of course, Djokovic, my favorite tennis player of all time, but I started to research Serbia more, and I quickly started to realize just how unique of a country Serbia is, just the political dynamics. And I'm not just talking about the 90s, I'm talking about the history all long before that, because it was at the crossroads of so many different empires, going back to Roman days, but then going to the Byzantine, the Ottoman Empire, the when the Bulgarian Empire came, the Austro-Hungarians, how it had control of Vojvodina, but nothing south of the Sava River. And everything with that is just so beyond fascinating. In the political landscape, of course, what happened in the 90s and specifically the 99 NATO bombings shapes the political dilemma and just everything that goes on culturally and beliefs. It shapes it today. I knew that this was where I needed to study. So for myself, I am a student of sociology. I have a year and a half left at my college, and from then on, I don't really know what my career paths will be, but being in Serbia with the culture that is so different from the United States, and specifically with my sociology focusing on politics, I knew that this is where I had to be. So early on, when I decided to study in Belgrade, I think everybody's reaction, at least the people that I was close with, whether it be friends, even some professors, looking at me and being like, "Why in the world are you going to Serbia? Everybody else you know is going to Copenhagen." A lot of people from my college going to Copenhagen. Literally everybody. It actually drives me crazy. Don't even get me started on my Copenhagen rant. I can't stand Copenhagen. But I knew I did not want to study in Copenhagen. I did not want to study in Western Europe. I didn't want to be in Rome, in London, in Paris, because, like, what good is that? That's almost like a little vacation, and I'm not going to gain much from that with what I am studying. I wanted something that I perceived as different. And for me, Serbia is exactly what that was. It was different, and Americans aren't coming here because of course, the whole difference. Sorry, I have to let my cat out the door. 1 second. Picasso, go, go, go. Okay. My cat's name is Picasso, so I just had to let him out. He's in my room right now. He wanted to go into the hall. Okay, but where was I with that? Also, if you have any questions, like, I'm just kind of talking off the top of my head right now, put them in the chat and I can give you more concrete answers on all of this. I can tell you exactly what I was thinking by doing this and just my favorite parts about this and so forth. But now, moving on to my studies, I was studying at the School for International Training. The college that I go to is Vassar College in New York, but I'm studying here at Belgrade, School for International Training, which is in Savamala. It is in the same building as FMK, the faculty for, was it Media and Communications? And from there, I have 4 classes. So my classes are Peace and Conflict in 21st century Europe. And as you can imagine, it's studying peace and conflict, specifically in the Balkans. My next class, it was, I forgot the official name for it, but it was just like an overall like history on this region, course on that. Then I took a research methods class, how to conduct research and how to do it effectively. I took a Serbian language class, and I am actually kind of proud of my Serbian and how much I have picked up. It has been very difficult. The language itself, it's so different. It's not like how growing up learning Spanish was, I don't want to say easy, but it was easier because of just the similarities between Spanish and English and how many Spanish speakers there are in my community in New York and just the United States as a whole. Serbian, completely different. So yeah, that was hard to learn at first. I slowly started getting the hang of it. I can't hold a conversation in Serbian, not one bit. If I get a sentence or I have to read a paragraph, I still can't do that. I can kind of like pick apart words and kind of understand what the sentences say, but it'll take me a while. But what I'm good at is knowing all of the basic things like greetings, numbers. If I go into a supermarket and I needed to get groceries, I would be able to fully know everything. Mason says hi in the chat. Hello, is this Mason, my brother, who's on? I assume that it is. Guys, if you have any questions about Serbia, yes, comment it down in the chat below. So I'm not just talking off the top of my head. I want to answer my specific questions. Oh, Alexis is on. Remember Alexis from the live streams way back when. Can I speak Serbian? And also, guys, apologies if the stream is a little bit delayed. I think there's a little bit of a delay between when I'm talking and from when things go in the chat and so forth. So speaking, I can't speak. I can't speak. I'm really hoping to continue to improve, and hopefully one day I will be able to speak the language. But it's just when I go into stores, if I go into a supermarket, with the greetings and all of that, I have an understanding of that. Welcome. I wonder what nationality is the author of books about Balkans. Oh, are you referring to the books that I am reading in my classes? So it's very interesting because even though I'm an American student and I'm with a few other American students in Belgrade, my professors are Serbian. And everything that I'm reading, it's predominantly Serbian authors who are writing these textbooks that I'm reading. Then we look at some foreign sources. So we've actually looked at some Russian journals as well, specifically since the war in Ukraine started, to kind of see what the Russian perception is of Serbia. We've looked at some Chinese sources, and that's actually what I'm conducting some research on. I'm looking at China and Serbia's partnership when it comes to infrastructure, how that impacts relationships with the rest of the West as well as the United States. Because again, me as an American, I'm so used to everyone around me being anti-China, being like have to take a hard stance. But in Serbia, yeah, it's completely different. And what China has done for Serbia, and I know you don't really see this at all in Belgrade, but if you look at some power plants that are being constructed, China has been doing a great job helping boost the Serbian economy. I've learned that it's really interesting that Serbia, playing the neutral card, is willing to take economic support and being able to be a partner with any country that's willing to work with Serbia. So that's why we see that of course the partnership with Russia and China, but you also see, I learned that Germany is Serbia's biggest economic partner. I did not expect that coming into this. So let's see. To learn, you have to talk to people. Don't be shy. We will understand that you learn and make mistakes. No one will mock you. So that is something that I really appreciate, and I'm actually very happy when I've been trying to speak the language, and it seems that people have been very happy to hear me speak Serbian. And I mean, I think they can tell very early on, just I guess how I conduct myself or just the way that I speak. I mean, they know that I am not a fluent speaker. They know I have like minimal Serbian language skills. So I've gotten so much positive feedback that people are happy that I'm trying, that the fact that I'm coming and living in Belgrade, that everybody is really thrilled that I'm taking the time to learn the language. We know recently that there has been a lot of Russians and Ukrainians who have come to Belgrade since the war has started, and some things, and nothing against those people who are coming, some things that I've actually heard from people is that you're here for a short period of time and you're willing to learn the Serbian language. Like, we are thankful for that. Other migrants who have come into Serbia, and I'm not just talking about Russian Ukrainians, we know the whole migrant route through the Balkans from those from the Middle East, that people aren't necessarily trying to learn the Serbian language. I think that if you are living in a country, even if it's for a short period of time, I know there's no requirement saying like you have to legally learn this, but it's a good thing just to be able to be ingrained in the culture more, get more out of that experience. So are you a member of Expats in Serbia, the Facebook group? You can find a lot of information. Someone else suggested that to me, that I should join that, and that I would gain a lot from that, whether it be just learning more meetups. So that's a good idea. I haven't officially joined it, but perhaps I will. And I'm trying to think of some of the things that really surprised me. Oh, okay. I know. So I'm going to talk just sports really quickly, unless anyone has anything else in the comments that they would like, in the chat that they would like to put in. But I came in here knowing that basketball was by far and away the craziest sport, and I was so excited to go to some basketball games. And oh my God, these games, the most intense games I have ever seen in my entire life. I have gone to Partizan games, and I'm hoping to make it to some Zvezda games as well. Just seeing the atmosphere, it's unbelievable. I have been to a lot of sporting events in my life. A lot. I have only been to 5 NBA games though, and the 5 NBA games I've gone to, I've seen games in New York, in Washington, in Atlanta, in Orlando, and Philly. Those 5. And I've been to March Madness. I've been to playoff baseball, playoff hockey, you name it. These games, the Partizan games, the most intense games, the single greatest things I have ever experienced in my entire life. Legitimately. Oh my God. I couldn't believe it. Just how the fans with their flags and all that. So now we have in the chat, what other places do you plan on traveling to within the next 2 years? So my favorite thing about Serbia is that I could travel within all of the former Yugoslavia. So you're going to be getting a lot of videos. I have a video on Niš and Novi Sad that are going to be released, but also within all the Balkans. So I'm talking in Bosnia and Croatia, Slovenia, Montenegro. Oh my God, you guys are going to love the video on Montenegro. I love that journey. In Kotor, Podgorica, in taking the train, the bar to Belgrade overnight train. That was some crazy experience. I could be wrong. I believe that was a project that was led by Tito. That is what I heard. So going all Macedonia, Albania. I know the political dynamics with Serbia, Albania, and that, but Greece and so forth. Romania, Bulgaria. I mean, just explore the entirety of the Balkans. That's what I'm looking forward to most. I'm also have actually a lot of trips planned in Africa as well, believe it or not. A little bit, not now. After done with Serbia, going to South Africa, Mozambique, Botswana, and so forth. See Attic Life. You can see many Americans and Canadians with the experience about Serbia, the language. That would be great. I would really love to be able to connect with those who are also in Serbia, and just whether it be practicing my language skills or meeting other Americans who are here. I've heard there's actually like a not a large, but a decent contingency of Americans here. I've actually met two so far, and I'm probably going to meet more Americans while I'm here. I've met Canadians as well that are living here too. I've noticed a lot of them, at least the Russians and Ukrainians, have been coming to Serbia with the idea of just staying for a short time, 2, 3 years, before hoping to make it to Western Europe. I know that's been a big issue with young people, how they leave for high skilled jobs and don't return. Let's see. The best basketball player is Nikola Jokic. 100%. Jokic is the greatest basketball player in the world. He should have 4 straight MVPs. He got robbed the year that Embiid won it. Serbians are taking over the NBA right now. I love to see it. Serbia could have won gold this past Paris Olympics. In the semifinals, they were the better team against the United States. The U.S., who ultimately won gold, should not have won that game. Serbia, I mean, it would have beat the U.S., should have beat the U.S. if things just fell their way a little bit more. They were the better team and really could have beat France. Grace says, hi, Landon. Hello, Grace. Thank you for joining. Then we have... what about after South Africa? Any future plans? Okay, so I'll run through this quickly. So after Serbia, I will actually be then going and living in South Africa, specifically Durban. This isn't for a long time from now, but going to Mozambique as well, Lesotho, Eswatini, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia. So those 7 countries, I would love to get Namibia in there as well. I don't think it will be able to happen just because the time crunch. It's going to be much more compact, while here Serbia, it's incredible. Just also the free time that I have and just all of that. And then after that, I will actually be going to Liverpool, the UK, and I will be living there for a short period of time as well. ZR says, and the best tennis player in the world, Novak Djokovic. I have where's my Djokovic shirt? It's somewhere. I have a Novak Djokovic shirt. I love it. I actually went to a tennis tournament in Belgrade. When was this? October. It was like middle of October. It was an ATP 250 tournament. There weren't any big names who were there at all, but Stan Wawrinka was there, and that was cool to see because at one point, I mean, 10 years ago, he was a top 5 player in the world. He has 3 Grand Slam titles, so that was awesome. Glad I got to see him. But yeah, it was in the Belgrade arena, the same arena that Partizan and Zvezda play in. So being able to watch tennis in there, that was cool. I actually, now that we are on the topic of tennis, do you guys remember when Novak Djokovic was trying to go for the calendar slam, something that hasn't been done in over 40 years? We're trying to win the Australian Open, Wimbledon, Roland Garros, and the U.S. Open all in the same year. It was a historic event. He was up against Daniil Medvedev in the U.S. Open final in 2021. I attended that match. It was the most expensive match I have ever spent on. It was the most amount I have ever spent on any ticket for any sporting event ever. But it was so worth it. It was so beyond worth it. Before coming here, I said that even though Djokovic lost in straight sets, and oh my God, that really stunk. I mean, it was cool to see Medvedev win his first title, but oh my God, I wanted to see Djokovic win that calendar slam. It would have just been so historic. Previously, before coming here, I said that that was my favorite sporting event I have ever been to, ever seen the U.S. Open final. More than seeing Mets playoff baseball sitting in the box, more than pro Eastern Conference Finals, Stanley Cup hockey, more than English Premier League, any of that until I got here and I saw some Euroleague basketball games. And surprisingly, I have actually become I don't want to say diehard, but a true fan of Euroleague basketball. I never followed it before coming here. I really didn't even know the teams. I knew Partizan and Zvezda. I knew clubs like Barcelona, Real Madrid, Panathinaikos, Bayern, but that's because of their football club affiliates. But I knew they had a basketball team as well. I knew Paris. Where did Wemby play? I don't remember. Doncic was at Real Madrid. I don't remember where Wemby played. Maybe where was Wemby? Was Wemby with Paris? I know he's French, but I don't remember a specific club he was with. That's besides the point. I've started to follow EuroLeague quite a bit, actually. So I am looking forward to this. I don't know why in the world is the EuroLeague Final Four in, is it Dubai, Abu Dhabi? I think it's Dubai, right? Oh, it makes no sense. No sense. I know the UAE and Saudi Arabia is taking over the sporting world and paying for everything, but that drives me crazy. Also, like, why is Dubai in the ABBA League? Like, legitimately, I mean, the first basketball game I went wasn't a EuroLeague. It was an ABBA League game. It was Partizan versus Dubai, which was really cool, but it made no sense. Dubai in the ABBA League? Like, come on. Then Partizan and Red Star have been tearing up the ABBA League. Where are they both 13-2? And oh God, I forgot the team. This is bad. I forgot the team name that's also 13-2. It's like it's like BUD something. But they're doing great. Okay, let's get back to specifically the comment section in this. Hey, your super cute brother should join you. Mason's watching this right now, I think. I don't fully know. Mason is my brother. He is doing good. He's in high school right now in the United States. Let's see. You guys gotta feed me more. Feed me more in the chat. So I got things to talk about. Ask me specific questions. Do whatever you can to just get ideas to flow in my head. Why don't I talk about food? Because why not? I mean, the food here, I am actually shocked at how much I have loved the food here. It is incredible. I am a huge fan of meat and potatoes, and it feels like those are the staples out here. Cevapi, I actually didn't know what cevapi was before coming here. I know. Isn't that crazy? I didn't know what cevapi was. And it seems like most Americans have no clue what cevapi is. I love it, but also, let me tell you, bureks are literally in my top 3 favorite foods in the entire world. The best burek that I had was when I was in Podgorica. I had bureks in Niche, which we are getting the Niche video. When's it dropping? Tuesday, I think? Friday? I should know my posting schedule more than this. I think it's Tuesday my Niche video is coming out. Niche, where bureks were invented. Yet, it wasn't actually that good, the burek. You know, it was good. Oh, but let me put it. All bureks are good as long as the outside of it is crunchy, and then the inside of it is more soft. It gets ruined if the whole thing's soggy. I am not a fan of the cheese that's in the burek. Samo meso nesir. only the meat that's inside it. I love meat bureks. And then just the regular, like original bureks or potatoes is also good. And the pies, like it's like the thing, it's like similar to the burek. Those are great. I go to the Pekara nonstop. I love how for something that for get a very cheap meal, literally getting. I mean, I'll go back to bureks again. Being a big burek for 200, 250 dinar, like you really can't beat that. What drives me crazy about the cheese is that it's like this goat cheese, feta cheese. I don't know what it is. I don't like it. I am a fan of like cheddar or like provolone or something like that. Like those types of cheese. And if you put that in a burek, maybe do a meat cheese burek with the meat and provolone. Oh my God, that would be so good. But oh well. What else is there? What else is there that I have loved? I've just enjoyed everything. There's oh God, what is this food called? I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's like this lasagna ish that has oh God, it's like a cucumber on it. I'm not even gonna try to think of it. But the thing that I have missed the most, honestly, is Chinese food, which sounds kind of crazy, but there are a lot of Chinese restaurants where I live in New York. So it's been a little disappointing to not find that top tier Chinese. So I know when I'm back in New York, that's going to be like one of the first things that I have again. So that's food. What else? What else should I talk about? Uh, Partisan report just comments Serbia. Yeah, I have become a fan of Partisan now. So I know some people watching this may be hating this, but I don't know what to tell you. I have a Serbian friend, and before from the United States, and before I came here, the one thing he told me was that you need to support a club, and that club you will support is Partisan. So I kind of had no other choice. Also, my biggest sport that I watch is baseball, and to me, it's like Partisan is like the Mets. I'm a die-hard Met fan, die-hard, and and Zvezda is like the Yankees. Big success, big money. They are the ones that are able to buy all the top players. Their fans act a little bit entitled, not a little bit, crazy entitled. So Partisan just aligns more with how much I love the Mets. Okay. God, what else should I be talking about? So I did food, I did travel. Oh, okay. Continue with travel. The bus services. First I'll talk about the international bus services. I've actually found really efficient. So taking buses to Zagreb, then Ljubljana, then back to Belgrade. To when I took the Niš Express to Niš, it was very smooth. In the United States, bus services are horrible. They are disgusting. They are not on time. They just cause so many problems. In fact, my most viewed video on YouTube is actually my nightmare Greyhound bus experience from New York to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is about, for those of you who don't know, about 6 hour bus ride from New York. So not long at all. So I have been so happy with how efficient the buses are in the Balkans. And then with the public transportation here, buses in Belgrade I've found very efficient. I know now all public transportation is free. The trams stink. The trams are so bad. They are unreliable. They are not on time. So many times they don't even show up. They change up their routes, and I still have no idea how in the world I could find out the routes when the buses have changed. I've used the Move It app, and I've found Move It to actually be the best. I've found the Google Maps to be second best. Apple Maps stinks. Never use Apple Maps when you are in Serbia. It's good for walking directions, not even fully for walking directions. But yeah, the trams stink. Also, like, why is Belgrade the biggest city in Europe without a metro? That drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. I've heard that from the waterfront, they're planning on having a metro just to the airport. I know many people have been saying the waterfront potential metro and just the waterfront as a whole is just to cater towards elites. And I know that has been becoming just an overall, it's been, I don't want to say nightmare, but it's been causing so much controversy with that. We have Alexis saying, Mr. Berman played a video of you in me and Mason's seminar. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Did he act? Was it one of the ones where I was saying what electives to do? That's crazy. Is that the one? I assume that's the one, Alexis, you're referring to, where I'm saying to do either human geo or criminal law or something. I recorded those videos. It was for social studies honor society points. For us. For the Serbian viewers who are watching this right now, in the United States, we have honor societies for different subjects. So I was in social studies honor society, where it's for for the students who are excelling in that subject, and I had to create a video talking about what social studies classes that the student should take. It was for my high school class, and I had to create these videos for social studies honor society. Oh my god, this was like 4 years ago. That's crazy that he's still showing that. Alexa says I should do human geo just like you. Okay, wait. Human geography actually relates to Serbia so much. So again, just some background information for the viewers who are watching this who are from Serbia. I took a class called Advanced Placement Human Geography, and we had a project where we had to study one country for the entire year. So when we were learning about population development, we had to do homework assignments on this one specific country. When we were talking about just anything over the course for the entire year, we got to pick a country. And we had to write reports how what we were learning in class relates to this country. Again, this was 4 years ago now. You know what country I picked? I picked Serbia. So, yeah, that just shows you really how I have been interested in Serbia for the longest time. I have been studying Serbia in my classes before I even came here. So that was awesome how I got to pick this country and I was able to do this. So yes, Alexis, you should do human geography, and if Miss Crawford is still running those classes, that project, pick Serbia. Really, pick Serbia because it's so interesting and it fits into human geography so well, especially when you're looking at like migration trends and so much of what's happening now with the geopolitical dynamics relates back to human geography courses. I hope Mason takes that as well. All right, so hit me with more stuff in the comment section. We gotta keep this rolling. I'm trying to think then of what else to talk about. Safety. That just popped in my head. Let's talk about safety. It's crazy. Being in Belgrade safety wise, it's insane. Like everywhere is safe. Everywhere is safe. You cannot do this in New York or in Philadelphia, or let's compare to New York, to Europe, in Milan, London, Paris, any of the major Western European cities. It's not like the cities are safe, but it's not like they are the safest places on earth. There are some bad areas. Belgrade, there are no bad areas. There are no bad areas. It will be 3 a.m. and I can be mindlessly wandering anywhere and not have any problems. And don't worry, I've been doing that. Literally my first night that I got here, maybe it was my second night. No, it was my first night. It was 2 a.m. and I was just mindlessly wandering the streets. And that's what I love so much about Belgrade. And people think I am crazy when I say this, but Belgrade is so similar to New York in the sense of how busy it is. It doesn't matter if it's 2 in the afternoon or 2 in the morning. It is nonstop. People are on the move. People are outside. People are driving around. Things are lit up, and Okay, maybe like public transportation like starts to die down in Belgrade between like 2 and then picks up at 4 a.m., so forth. Mason said, "What about the train station?" Mason, train stations are great. Everywhere in the train. The train is very efficient. I wish that there was more train access within the Balkans. I mean, like I said, I rode my overnight train from Montenegro back to Belgrade in a sleeper car. I actually got on the train in Podgorica, and that was a crazy but really cool experience. I also was able to take the train from Belgrade to Novi Sad, which that was awesome, 40 minutes. I had Mason, he's why he's commenting that. I had a kind of a crazy situation at the train station, but we're not even going to discuss that. Novi Sad, what happened there is my heart still goes out to everyone in Novi Sad, whether they were a victim or just with how the train station collapsed. I mean, it's horrible. When the train station collapsed, it gained not just news in Serbia, it gained international headlines. Like the American networks of CNN, The Washington Post, NBC were reporting on that. So that shows you how devastating that news was. I believe, what's the death total now? 15 or something? And what's worse, that was all young people. But not all, but I mean that there were some young people, but regardless of the age, it's horrible, horrible to have to hear about. But let's move on. Let's talk about something happier. What else about Belgrade? Let's talk about my favorite areas. So I am living. Vračar is where my flat is, and it's my favorite part of the city, and it's not even close. I love how it's the kind of like de facto city center, and it's always like nonstop energy, and just everything about Vračar. I love the street. I'm the street that is adjacent to the street I'm on. I don't remember the name of the street that's adjacent to the one I live on. But it's so lovely just how it's just like all trees that are lined up, how you have embassies that are all around. And then I also love where it's by where the American embassy is and the Israeli embassy and so forth. I love that area. It is so nice. The homes are big, and I don't even know how to fully describe it. I don't remember the name of where this is. You guys know who are watching it, my Serbian listeners. Why can't I think of the name where all the major embassies are, where the U.S. embassy? I actually heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, that the U.S. used to have its embassy in Vračar, but had to move more towards the outskirts of the city due to safety. Other parts, and let me just answer Alexis's question that's in the chat. No, I have never been arrested in my entire life, and let's hope that stays that way for the rest of my entire life. I also really enjoyed Dorchal. Dorchal is so pleasant. It's such like a little cute neighborhood. I don't like Starigrad. I don't. I don't like Knez Mihailo Street. Not one bit. Literally. Because here's why. I don't like those streets in any of the cities. And nothing against Knez Mihailo. It's a good street to walk down. I mean, it's not a street. It's like the pedestrian area. But, I mean, that's where tourists are. Tourists are going to walk through those. And I avoid those no matter where I am. No matter if I am in Rome or Barcelona or I'm in Sofia or Belgrade. I don't go by those areas because it is just for not just for tourists, but shopping and all that. And there's so much culture that you could find around the city. Like literally someone I know is going to Belgrade just for a short 24-hour period this upcoming summer, asked me what they should do, what he and his family should do, and I told them avoid Knez Mihailo. I said so many other places in Belgrade for a short period of time, especially because of how different Belgrade is than other cities in Europe, that you're going to want to explore those. And I said, though, although Kalemegdan's cool. That's cool. I took a really cool tour that takes you beneath Kalemegdan into like secret chambers that you can't see unless you do that tour. And that was wonderful. Going to the chat. Mason says he almost did. Mason, that is not true. Mason, that is half true. Alexis Spill Landon, no. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. There was a situation where I didn't have my photo ID on me, and as a foreigner in Serbia, you're required to have photo identification on you at all times. So it was a random spot check. I don't know. I just didn't think of carrying my passport with me to Novi Sad because it's staying within the country. So why would I think I need to carry a passport? But apparently I did. My American driver's license, I always have that on me just as backup. It doesn't count. So the officer questioned me why I didn't have that. That was at the Novi Sad train station. Well, it wasn't the station. It was the one, like, now the train to Novi Sad stops at one stop before. That's close to like where the fortress is in Novi Sad. So it was there. I was in Novi Sad after the unfortunate tragedy. Uh, Lynn, do you ever plan on traveling to South America or Asia? Okay, these are cool questions. And then after this, I'll answer that question very quickly, and then I'll talk about traveling within the Balkans and everywhere that I have been or plan on going to during my time in Serbia. So, I have not been to South America. I have been to Central America. I've been to El Salvador, Guatemala, and Panama. But I am hoping that really soon I will be able to travel to all of the countries within South America. I would literally love to spend 2.5 months and just going to everyone, whether it be Argentina, Bolivia, Paraguay, uh, Guyana, and so forth. Asia as well. That's a pain to get to. But yeah, I really hope that I'll be able to do it as well. Now, traveling within the Balkans, cities that I have been to or will be going to, and again, videos coming up on all of those. So, in the Balkans first, and then I'll tell you the other European cities that I'm going to hop over to while I'm in Belgrade is so Croatia, Zagreb, Slovenia, Ljubljana, Bosnia, Sarajevo, Montenegro, Tiva and Kotor, and Podgorica, Macedonia, Skopje, Bulgaria, Sofia, Romania, Timisoara. In Greece, going to Crete, so have Heraklion and Hania, and then the political dynamics in Serbia, Albania, Shkodër, and then I will also be within Serbia, as I said, Novi Sad, Niš, and then political dynamic incoming, Prizren. So just going to leave Prizren at that. I'm not going to add any more context in Prizren. But also outside of the Balkans during my time living in Belgrade, Budapest, Vienna, I actually have work that I have there. So I'm going to both Budapest and Vienna for a week. Bratislava, Slovakia, Krakow, Poland, Brno, Czechia, Rome, Italy, Milan, Italy, Barcelona, Spain, Andorra la Vella, Andorra, also the Vatican, Rimini, Italy, San Marino, and then the island nations. I am going to hit up Malta and Cyprus, going to be in Larnaca and Nicosia in Cyprus, and then also I'm really excited for excited is the wrong word, but just to see the UN buffer zone in Cyprus. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the political dynamics in Cyprus, how it's literally an island divided. There's the south. Cyprus claims the entire island as a whole. There's the Turkish occupied north. They are a self-proclaimed independent country called the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus. So that's that. That's the plans for during my time in Belgrade. I guess within Serbia, Novi Sad's really cool because of the Austro-Hungarian influence. It honestly doesn't really feel like Serbia. You have all of the like German architecture. Oh, I should say Austro-Hungarian architecture, multicolored buildings, and so forth. But Novi Sad also has lots of parts that like really do feel like regular Yugoslavia. Then Niš is really, really cool because it's without a doubt the most Yugoslav city. And what do I mean by Yugoslav city? I mean, you're there. It feels like you are in Yugoslavia. It's crazy. It feels like, I mean, I I hate to like phrase it like this, but it feels like niche hasn't developed in the last 40 years, That's kind of stuck in the 1980s and it hasn't really gone so forth. There is this one really cool street that I loved in Niche that had these big like block like Yugoslav buildings, the socialist like buildings that are like 30 stories tall, and it's just straightforward. And it's like building after building after building. And don't get me wrong, I found this really cool. I loved my time in Niche. It was really enjoyable. I took the bus and went there. It was 3 hours there, 3 hours back. I actually did a day trip from Belgrade. So that was a lot of time on the bus. But Niš is a really, really nice city. And, oh God, what's the name of it? I'm gonna try pronounce it. My Serbian viewers here, you're gonna all make fun of me. It's Pljaskavica, something like that. It's like you have like the bread, and it's like this not a burger patty, but it's like almost like a cevapi patty that's in it. You put the onions in it, and so forth. I don't put mayo in it, but I loved it. I loved that so much. It was on the street everywhere in Niš. So I was in Skopje right before I went to Niš. I was actually in Niš about a week and a half after Skopje, so you will be getting a video on Skopje eventually too. And someone told me I met someone in Skopje right in front of the Alexander the Great statue, who he was from Germany, and I asked, he said he just came from Niš, and I was like, oh, how was Niš? I'm going to be going there soon. And he was like, oh, I hated Niš. Niš is dirty, it's gross, like it's old, and I don't know why anyone would go there. And like I was like a little bit weary going there. Not weary, I was still looking forward to it. But then once I got there, I was like, okay, it's very different than anything I've experienced before, but that's why I really liked it. So, if you're in Serbia for an extended period of time, I really recommend. You should check out Niš. You really should. And then Belen, I see a message retracted. I took a glimpse of it before, and I think it said, did you take Serbian classes? I could be wrong. Yes, for those of you who don't know, yes, taking Serbian classes. Let's see. Ivan says, go back to us. Go back to us. What are you referring to? Are you talking about Niš? If so, I mean, I know I won't be going back to Niš during my time living in Belgrade, but I will be coming back to Serbia many times after this. So don't worry. I will be back in Niš at some point. Halston says, welcome to Serbia. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I truly love this country. Yvonne says not welcome. I'm wondering if that is also referring to Niš. And then Halston says sto da ne. That like I think that's translate to why not. Why not? I think is also referring to Niš. Again, I apologize if there is a little bit of a stream delay between when I'm talking and when the feed is actually going into the YouTube video for you to see it. So, again, I don't fully know of how this feed's coming across. Alexis says, Ivan, don't be mean to Landon. He can go to Serbia if he wants. Alexis, Ivan is not being mean. I don't think he is. I really recommend everybody going to Serbia. The Balkans in America is forgotten about. Literally. And when the people in the US say, oh, I'm going on a trip to the Balkans, what they mean is coastal Croatia. That's what they mean. They refer to Dubrovnik or Split or Zadar. And that's it. Occasionally, some people will go to Kotor, but that's going to be on a cruise. And that drives me crazy. Literally. I have one family member well, two technically, but like one step. My aunt and uncle who did a land tour of the Balkans, but didn't go into Serbia, and I know I can count on one hand the amount of people I know in my life that have even been to Serbia, which is really, really unfortunate. People need to visit the Balkans. It gives you a perspective unlike anything else, especially because of, I mean, again, getting back into the political dynamics and, like, again, that's all, like, the whole reason why I'm here, that being able to see everything that people heard about just up up close being and seeing it here. I mean, one of the things that really really shook me a little bit at first when I first got here was seeing the NATO bomb buildings. It's the one building which I believe it used to be the Yugoslav Ministry of Defense that uh, it's the main one, and you have that giant military poster that says it's something like it reads in Serbian like join the military or something. Just the fact that you have that right in front of the NATO bomb building. So it's bringing a message of like, look what America, not, I shouldn't say America, but for some reason, okay. And also, my Serbian viewers, I know there is discontent towards America as there is in a lot of the world. And sure, maybe the United States was the one leading the NATO bombs, but it wasn't fully orchestrated by us. There was a lot of assistance with the Germans. Germany is now Serbia's biggest economic partner. So, relations between the United States and Serbia, it's possible that within the next decade or two that they can become really tight. And if, let's say, I become president of the United States, America and Serbia will become close allies. Don't worry. Everybody in Serbia will love America. Everyone in America will love Serbia. Okay. I mean, well, that's never going to happen. I'm never going to be president. But where was I going with? Oh yeah, it kind of like shook me, and then hearing people's stories in the '90s, and I talk about these subjects with people that I know in the United States, and frankly, people are unaware what happened in this region from the fall of Yugoslavia up until the NATO bombings, and it's really unfortunate about that. It really is. Because, I mean, one thing I attribute it to, at least during the war, the fall of Yugoslavia and the war in Bosnia, is that it was happening at the same time as the fall of the Soviet Union. So, America media, because of the Cold War, was covering the fall of the Soviet Union, and Yugoslavia was almost like forgotten about a little bit. So, I think that that's part of the reason why there's such lack of little knowledge. The NATO bombings were covered here a decent amount. Again, I wasn't alive during this, so I don't like fully know, just from what I've heard from other people. And let's see. Halston says, I wish the U.S. would lift the visa requirements for us Serbs. I'd like to see America. I hope that you get to see America as well. I really hope that you do. I know U.S. visa processes are a pain. They suck, and the U.S. visa, even tourism visa, literally the most expensive in the world. I was really surprised to learn that there's a big Serbian population in Chicago. Why? I don't know. It doesn't make sense why Chicago, of all places that they sell. But, I mean, Chicago is the third largest city by U.S. population, and besides New York, because I am biased against New York, I think it's the greatest city in the world, but Chicago, besides New York, is my favorite city in the United States. I really love Chicago, so they're a great city. So, Halstons, I hope that you would be able to make it to the U.S. one day. Grace says, I'd vote for you. Thank you, Grace. So is Mason and Alexis. Thank you as well. I don't envision myself in the future as anyone who will run for office. I think that is in the U.S. It's a grind. It's a campaigning in the U.S. It takes so much out of you, and you have to fundraise like crazy. You have to get volunteers to become mobilized, and a lot of times if you get elected, if you are not in the U.S. federal government, so I'm talking in U.S. House or Senate, or of course presidency, if you're in state legislature, it's not even necessarily worth it. So I don't know if I will ever do this. Let's see. Yeah, so I don't know if I will ever be uh, running for any form of office. I have worked for political campaigns before, and I think that's something that I will continue to do. By worked, I mean volunteer. I haven't ruled out potentially being a campaign strategist in the future, so that's something I might do. Uh, I think it's really cool being able to analyze voting demographics and do that. Our political system, it has its ups and downs, but so does Serbia. We know that we know that there has been a lot of protests in Belgrade since I got here. I mean, I got here, it was after the Rio Tinto protests, but I heard those were crazy. Then, of course, protests over what happened in Novi Sad. There's the recent student protests about also Novi Sad, but also it's like the foreign actors of the university that are coming in. The closure of the bridge that's by the Belgrade waterfront, then just overall discontent about the Belgrade waterfront. And yeah, it's a politically charged time in Serbia. Don't get me wrong. Ivan says, what does that say? Where were the Americans and Europeans in 1999? Uh, Something today. I don't recognize. Let me put the second. Where were the Americans and Europeans? Are you referring to the people that, like, just the regular Americans that were living in America and how they were getting their news coverage? If that's what you were referring to, people know to an extent that something happened. People know that, like, okay, there was something that took place in Serbia and that there were issues in 99, mostly because our president, Bill Clinton, visited Pristina. So that's why there's knowledge that something happened. Most Americans don't know about the Belgrade bombings. I'm willing to say, if I had to guess, probably like, honestly, like at least 95% of them. They know something happened, but they don't know anything beyond that, which is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. And also, Yugoslavia was never taught to me in school. I can't remember a single class that it was mentioned in. We skipped over it in our post World War II classes. I mean, even when we got to global history, it was all American focused. So we were talking about the Vietnam War, the Korean War, the Cold War. So all things that were, I mean, in its sense, were global conflicts. Don't get me wrong, but again, it was all American centric. So the United States moving forward really needs to do a better job in just education on global issues, like, again, Yugoslavia, but also Central America. Literally the closest, like, closest, like, quote unquote different region from the U.S. Nobody has any ideas about the civil wars that took place there in the 70s and 80s, the coup attempt by the United States government in Guatemala. People don't even know about all of the U.S. sponsored coups that have been around. Nobody knows about Saddam Hussein. Nobody knows about even what's going on in present day Iran or in Myanmar and so forth. The American education system needs to do a better job. But while I am on this, high school in the US and high school in Serbia, I'm finding entirely different. The fact that, like, in the US, it's very simple. Every kid is in school from about 8 in the morning up until 3 p.m. So from 8 to 15. And they're in classes during that time. And from 3 p.m. until probably like 7 p.m., so from 15 to 19, they are in either sports, so baseball, football, American football, basketball, so forth, or they're doing other activities, like they're doing like a political club or volunteer work or something, and then come home around 5, 6, 7, 8 p.m., whatever it is, and that's when they're home and they do a little homework and stuff. And the schedule like that is done on purpose so that they leave right as parents are going to work and they come home right as the parents are coming home from work. And it's easy and everybody's out during the day. Serbian school system is very different than that. How you have some students with morning classes, some with the afternoon, evening classes. I don't know. For me, it just doesn't feel structured that way. And I mean, I get that there's shortage of teachers and all of that, so a lot of issues moving forward with that. But I don't know. That to me, it seems like there's a disconnect in the education system. But that's just my American viewpoint and what I've noticed. Halston says, have you started learning the Cyrillic alphabet? To an extent. To an extent. It's hard. I mean, I'm sure if I probably just spent maybe 2 days, like, really trying to study it, I would be able to nail it down. But I haven't started really yet because everything is written, for the most part, in the Latin alphabet. And I really love the Serbian language because in the Latin alphabet, like, everything is spelt exactly as it sounds. Like, there's no THs making a th sound like how we do in English, or CH making ch, like, if, like, for chachak, it's just the C with the accent mark over it. It's very simple. And yeah, everything, at least within Belgrade, is, for the most part, I'm seeing Latin, but I noticed anything relating to the government or the bus system, planes, anything like that is all in Cyrillic. I did notice more Cyrillic in niche. I would still say it was majority Latin, but it's a lot of Cyrillic. I wonder if Cyrillic is going to continue to be preserved. When I was in Bulgaria, of course, Bulgarian is a different language, but they don't use the Latin alphabet at all. It's just all in Cyrillic. I find it really cool that for each word you have two entirely different spellings with the Cyrillic alphabet and the Latin alphabet. So that's something that, yeah, maybe I will continue or I will pick up. What was I going to say with this? With the Cyrillic alphabet. Oh God, I don't know. But that's besides the point. I was gonna say something with the alphabet, and just what I find fascinating about that. Oh yeah. I've heard that a lot of students now are actually learning Latin before they learn Cyrillic. As they're growing up. So it's making me start to think, like, is it possible that kind of Cyrillic starts to slowly die out? I don't think that would be the case, especially because all the government documents and anything like that has to be in Cyrillic. But I mean, I'm just thinking, like potentially, like, could that happen? Let's see what's in the chat. Let's see. Yvonne, yes, you are American. Nothing is difficult. So neither should be learning Cyrillic. See, like, that's my broken Serbian for me, trying to translate that. I'm American, so nothing should be difficult. That's not true. American language skills is horrible. We are so bad at learning foreign languages. It's embarrassing. We have one of the lowest foreign literacy rates of any country in the Western, that's considered like the Western world. Only the UK has a, no, actually, I think we might be worse than the UK with that. It's so bad. Typically, you don't know a foreign language unless your family has heritage there and it was taught from an early age. But even so forth, I have friends whose family came from Croatia or from Serbia, or actually, well, my Serbian friend does speak Serbian, so that's a bad example, but from Russia or from Korea, but they don't speak the language that their parents speak. So no, for me, I have a difficult time learning foreign languages. Halston, Serbia is a foreign one language. You automatically speak Croatian, Bosnian, and Montenegrin. Some linguistic literature puts in different dialects as the same language. That's one thing that I love, that I was able to recognize the words and being able to somewhat use it when I went to Sarajevo, when I was in Hrvatska, in Croatia, in Montenegro. When I was in Ljubljana, I noticed that Slovenia is somewhat similar. I don't want to say very similar, though, because it was more different than I would have expected. Feel like the basis of Slovenian is very similar to Serbian and Bosnian, Croatian, and all that. But I don't know. I also have heard from Serbians that, if a Slovenian is or someone is speaking Serbian, someone speaking Slovenian, that like they can kind of understand each other, but it's gonna be hard to hold a fluid conversation because of the discrepancies there. A comparison that someone made to me was almost like Spanish and Portuguese. Halston's is not possible for Cyrillic to die down. It's the official script of Serbia, and Cyrillic is learned in first grade, while Latin is in second grade. Okay, however, the Latin script is used more. Okay, I appreciate that. That does make a lot of sense. I did know that about how it's the official script, and that anything relating to the government, or like how all the buses use that and so forth. But okay, so Cyrillic is learned first and then Latin, however Latin's used more. Okay, so I was thinking and I hope it never dies down. You're saying that there's no chance of that happening, so that's good. I'm glad to hear it. Mason says, can I come join for a bit? Mason, in what way? On the Zoom screen, or do you want to just come into my room? If you want to come into my room, you know where it is. Just come and open the door. This is my brother. Mason is my brother, who is currently with me at the moment. So he enjoys foreign travel as well. Halston's Macedonian is pretty similar to Serbian. Yeah, I am looking forward to being able to understand Macedonian, hopefully. When I was am I hearing Mason come in? Maybe he is. You can understand each other without speaking to another. Mason, you want to come in?
Yeah.
Okay, we have Mason coming in now.
Move over.
Can I move over? In what way?
Like to the left?
To the left?
Or left.
Okay, I'm saying down. Now what? You want to just say hi?
Yeah, no, just keep talking.
Just keep talking about what?
Serbia.
Oh, well, I can't just... I mean, you're just sitting here, and you're just gonna sit down and be in the corner. You don't want to ask questions or talk about anything?
You talked about everything already.
You don't have any other questions?
No, not really.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Mason says bye. But then people, Mason, you have, okay, Mason left. Mason! You have people in the comments who are saying hi to you.
Hi, guys.
Mason said hi. I don't know if you can hear them. Okay, for my Serbian viewers, I'm sorry. I'm going back to talking Serbian. These people that wanted my brother to come in are the Americans that my brother is friends with. Let's see. Hope says, hey Landon, well, it's been so long since there's been a live. I know, right? This has actually been a long time. I did 2 very quick lives, not even for the purpose of having viewers and interactive viewers. I did one for my NFL playoff predictions and for college football playoff predictions, but that was more so I just wanted to get my playoff predictions formally on camera. So yeah, I know it's been a long time since I did a live. I don't know when the next one will be again. Probably not for a long time. Hope, oh my. Alexis, hi Mason, Grace, OMG, you're cute, brother. Who is an interesting guy, I see. That is my brother. Yes, that is my brother. And we got a hi Mason in the chat. So Yes, guys, that was Mason who joined. All right, so continuing on with my talk about Serbia. What in the world do I talk about now? I feel like I've covered a lot of different things. I can't think of much to talk about in my off the top of my head. Oh, okay. I know what to talk about. So before I came here, I was expecting that Serbia was going to be a very hostile place, that I wouldn't be welcomed, especially as an American, and that it was going to be a harsh, very stern culture, very to the point. And don't get me wrong, it's very to the point, and it's a culture that is a little bit more like more rigid culture. So I actually am enjoying that. I find that Americans have a problem where we are not straight to the point. So in Serbia, you say it how it is. You say it whether you like it, you don't. You're to the point. It is very stern, but it's something that it took me at first a little bit to get used to, but I've fully embraced it. And yeah, Americans should be more like that. Houston, okay, as an American, were you Team Trump or Team Harris? Okay, so I think you will find this interesting. Uh, so I went to both a Trump and a Harris political rally. They are both up on my channel, so you can see my experiences at both. Both were crazy. I was at a Trump rally in New York about 2 weeks before the assassination attempt, which is kind of crazy to think about. And when I was at the rally, I thought to myself, wow, there is a decent amount of security, but not enough security for what I would want a former sitting president and a major presidential candidate to have. Looking back at it, there were a lot of spots looking up at the trees around us and all of that were unsecure. So, I mean, when I heard of the assassination attempt and recalling what the previous outdoor rally that I went to a few weeks earlier looked like, I mean, of course, it was scary at first to hear about that. Then my second thought was, I'm not surprised that this happened. I mean, the FBI needs to do a better job moving forward. It is horrible what their incompetency when it came to that. Then when I go about my Harris rally, I was at the very first joint political rally with Kamala Harris and her running mate, Tim Walz. It was literally the day that Tim Walz was announced as the running mate. It was in Philadelphia. It was in an arena and 15,000 people, and that energy was insane. That was crazy, with Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro there talking, and that was cool because up until the morning of, people were thinking that he was going to be Harris's running mate. And Senator Bob Casey was speaking, and the energy in both was insane. The Trump one was insane for other reasons because of what all conspiracy theories, and of course then I was standing literally second row with the most famous person in the world literally 20 feet in front of me. That was a little bit surreal. Harris rally, I was sitting, it was indoors, I was up in the nosebleeds. But I'm glad that I got to see both sides of the political spectrum. I know that in Serbia, most people are Team Trump. Most people wanted to see Trump win. I think I saw a poll done that was like 68% of Serbians wanted Trump to win the presidency, which is crazy. Crazy amount, because I could never picture a candidate in the U.S. nationally getting 68% of the vote. So being here, I was in Serbia on election day, actually. Hope says, I agree, even though there are not too many people living in Kansas. Kansas is an American state for the Serbian viewers. Whenever I do have an interaction, especially with Arjun, he's very loquacious and can't seem to get to the point like ever. Yeah, Serbia, you say it as it is. You get straight to the point, and if you have an issue with somebody, you confront them, right? There's no playing games, kind of going around and seeing trying to figure out what people's issues are. No, that's what I mean when it is a stern culture. It really is. Let's see. Would you recommend Serbia as a vacation location? If so, what part? Uh, so I like to define vacation and trip as two completely different things. One moment. I'm going to have a sip of my water quickly. Okay. I think of vacation as relaxing, that you're on the beach or you're in the mountains and you're just chilling there. Hold on, I'm just plugging in my computer. For that, Serbia is definitely not a vacation destination. If you want a vacation destination in the former Yugoslavia, you go to Croatia, go to the Croatian coast, go to Dubrovnik, Split, Zadar, or go to Montenegro, go to Kotor, Tivat, Budva. Of those I've mentioned, I've only been to Kotor and Tivat. If you are thinking of going on a trip or traveling to Serbia, I would 100% recommend it. You really should go. You really should go. Balkans is an experience unlike anything other. And don't just go to Belgrade. Go throughout the Balkans. Go to all of the capitals of the Yugoslav republics if you can. So that's Ljubljana, Slovenia, which really more feels like Central Europe than the Balkans. Zagreb, Croatia, Sarajevo, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Skopje, Macedonia, or Podgorica has nothing. I mean, I was there for a few hours. I enjoyed Podgorica. Best work I had in my entire life. But Podgorica is the one that you can go out your way and you don't actually need to visit. But the rest of them, definitely go. Or go in Bosnia, the only beach. It's 20 kilometers long. So, I wish I could share my screen right now so I could show you the map of Bosnia. You guys will have to do it on your own. Neum, is that how it's pronounced? Neum. The border in Bosnia is really funny because I know all the Serbians watching this know this. For my Americans who lack map skills of the Balkans, you probably don't. So, imagine this is a terrible example. Imagine this is Bosnia, right? This is the edge of Bosnia. So this could all be right along the Adriatic, but Croatia pretty much extends their border. Like Croatia is like all here, but Croatia is almost in the shape of like an upside down L, where like this is part of Croatia, and then the handle of this comb that's actually for my cat because my cat's a Persian. Goes and takes the entire Bosnian coast, but there is this little part of Bosnia that actually, in fact, has access to the ocean. So I guess, yeah, that's Bosnia's only beach, which is kind of funny. But what's also funnier about that is that even though it has access to the water and it's Bosnia's only beach, it's not Bosnia. I mean, the water itself, sorry, there's like an island that's also a little bit beyond that, and there's a bridge going, so it's not even like Bosnia has true access to the Adriatic. Croatia just took their entire thing. Let's see. Hope. I fear I don't know where that is. Look at a map of the Balkans. I found just when I'm bored, I literally just go on Google Maps and start zooming into countries. Also, if you are interested in this topic and you're an American or just someone not from the former Yugoslavia, I find looking at the map, specifically the Republika Srpska map, to be really interesting. I found it really cool in Banja Luka that when the Partizan basketball team went there for an ABA League game, it was filled with Partizan fans. Let's see. Hope says, fear I don't know where. Oh, I just read that. Belen, can you show your cat? I can show a picture of my cat on my phone. My cat is my cat's not in Serbia. Let's see if I have a picture of my cat on my phone. My cat's name's Mozart. like the composer Mozart's not in Serbia. You saw there was Picasso earlier. Picasso's in another room right now. So, unfortunately, I won't be leaving my computer just to show him. I don't have pictures of them on my phone. I'm sorry. I was going to just hold up my phone to the camera so you can see them. I take all photos and videos on my phone and upload them to my computer for the sake of saving storage because when you are recording a lot. I'm not a professional. I don't have my own camera equipment. I use my phone to record. I have no other choice but to use my phone, and there's a lot of storage that gets taken up. So I gotta, just for the sake of it, because the worst thing you want to do is you're in the middle of recording something and then boom, you're hit with storage, a storage limit. That actually happened to me when I was in Panama. That's why my Copa Airlines flight is recorded on a secondary phone that I have. It's like one of those cheap ones that I bought for literally $15. That's why it's in terrible quality. But yeah, okay. So, Hope, you seem like a social studies wizard, and as a social studies wizard myself, I appreciate that. We need more people like us. Well, Hope, I am very glad that you are a social studies wizard. I myself am certainly not a social studies wizard. Also, I have on my phone right now for the live stream, just to make sure everything's going smoothly. I am having the live stream on my phone as well. I'm seeing there's like an ad that pops up every literally like 4 minutes. Of course, I have monetization on for this live stream, but sorry, I'm very thirsty. But it seems like these ads are popping up so much. I feel like that's too much, and they shouldn't be popping up that much. I didn't control how much the ads are. Let's see. All right, what else? What else is there to talk about? Comment more stuff in the chat. I honestly will probably be ending this live stream in the next. Say it's 12:30 in Serbia, 12:30 a.m. in Serbia. Uh, mm, I go to? I said I was gonna go till 1. I don't know if I'm gonna go till 1. That's a long time of me just continuously yapping. So I will end this at 12:30. That's 6:30 New York time, unless I start to see some things in the chat, because by this point I've kind of said everything that I wanted to say about my experience so far with Serbia. That I feel like that it was like me just rambling on. There's not much more. Halston says, have you seen Eurovision yet? Now that you live here, you need to follow up. I have not actually watched it. I know the competition and what it is, and it seems like it's a lot of fun. It seems like it's a lot of fun. So, why is my phone ringing? Okay. It seems like, yeah, it does seem like it's a lot of fun with the songs and all that. I didn't realize how big it was until like 2-3 years ago. It's really cool competing as the individual countries. So that's something that I think I need to follow. I'm trying to get into everything related to culture, both here and just Europe as a whole. So yeah, I think that's a great way. Hope, yes. The answer to that, yes. I heard you support Vucic and SNS. Is this true? I don't support a political party in Serbia. I'm an outsider, right? I'm an American. It's not my position to be taking sides on any issues relating to how the government functions, relating to what they do with their monuments, with their foreign relations, with even the waterfront. Like, it's not my responsibility and my position to be taking a place in this. That's like how I wouldn't want a Serbian coming to the United States and saying, "Oh, why are you guys doing this with this policy? Why are you not conducting trade with China?" Like when if a Serbian came to an America and was only living there for, not long term, like don't tell me how to run my country, and I won't be telling you guys to run your country. So I remain neutral on all foreign affairs, and every side always has valid points. And it's a saying that I really love. I don't know the full saying. I actually heard it for the first time about a week ago. But when you have multiple sides making claims, you have a far left, far right, and they're all making claims. I know Serbia's political system, like a U.S. has far left, left, center, right, far right. Serbia, even though it's America, two-party system, but Serbia, it's more like right, far right, and like ultra far right. But when you have all different groups that are making certain claims, the aggregate of the truth tends to be in the middle. So it's always great to hear all sides, and that's why I went to both the Donald Trump rally and Kamala Harris rally this last election cycle. Let's see. Greetings. It seems I'm an hour late. No worries at all. No worries at all. Now that you joined, I'm happy to just continue keeping this going, but still glad you got to hear something. Yes, so I was talking about all my experiences beforehand, but a lot of what I'm saying now is a repeat of what it was before. So you're going to be hearing all about my experiences. Serbia's song selection will be the 26th, 28th, and 1st of March on RTS1. So you should watch. Okay, so it's in March. Okay, so it's coming up. So I will be tuning into that now. It seems like such a fun competition. 26th, 28th. Good, thank you. Welcome to Serbia then. So glad to be here. No, Vucic has no valid points. Seems to me that at least people in Belgrade don't have a favorable opinion of Vucic. Not one bit. It seems like, though, outside of Belgrade, when it comes to Niš, Novi Sad, Čačak, and just a bunch of just the towns around, it seems like he has a much more favorable, people view him much more favorably. I've noticed that even though Belgrade is without a doubt the most liberal place in Serbia, from just what I'm used to in America and from when I've gone in Western Europe, Belgrade is still considered very right in the political system. Very right. I'm not going to say outright right wing, but very right compared to just overall rest of Europe. But yes, very liberal for Serbia as a whole. Remember in the last live, there was like this girl, Sydney, and she said you live in New York and your brother must be in New York. I don't know what that means. Yes, my hometown, I grew up in New York. Eurovision is in May. On 1st March, we will have our national selection to pick a song for May to... Oh, wait, that's actually really cool. I didn't know that's how it worked, that there's this national selection. Maybe is it like a national competition that everyone from Serbia and the respective countries, they compete almost to be like their representative for the country? That's actually really cool if that's how it works like that. Okay. Impressive that you're open-minded enough to go to multiple rallies like that. Yeah, it was really, really interesting seeing both Harris and Trump in person. Those were both the first two major political rallies that I have ever been to in my entire life. But I would love to go to events just on all sides of the political spectrum to be able to learn more. And I'm a student of sociology. That's why I'm studying in Serbia. And I think to be able to understand society better is not just to be hearing from those politicians, but also to be just observing the people that attend the political rallies, what their policies are, how, what they're shouting, if there are, whether it be conspiracy theories. And in American politics, both the left and right shout conspiracy theories. So kind of like what conspiracy theories are being shouted, and so forth. In the right, like Trump and his allies shout conspiracy theories relating to the 2020 election, which those theories have been completely debunked, relating to COVID, QAnon. But the American left shouts conspiracy theories about the assassination attempt of Trump and all of that. It's crazy. Let's see. I guess that's why you are also willing to come to Serbia and see for yourself. Exactly. Exactly. So fascinated by this country, the history, the dynamics today, the culture. I've always wanted to come to and study in Serbia, and that's I'm not even joking about that. So glad able to make that happen. Wouldn't you say Belgrade is right wing at all? What do you mean? So Belgrade is left wing for Serbia. For Serbia's politics, it is liberal. When you compare it to the United States and the rest of Europe, if you were to put it on a scale, Belgrade is still very right wing. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. So in America, left, okay, picture like here is the, I think it's going to be reversed on the computer because something with the settings. So center, left, right. So here in America, if this is the moderate right of the United States, Belgrade is still here. Belgrade is still more to the right than the moderate right in the US. However, just Serbia's political spectrum is so shifted towards the right that while Belgrade comparatively looks very liberal, when you compare it to the United States and Western Europe, it is a very conservative place, and that has to go with whether it be social issues or typically just like on a global scale. And remember, it's all relative issues about how Serbia and people want Serbia to conduct themselves in global affairs. It is right wing. So let's see. You are such an interesting guy. Thank you. Feel like other social media platforms would love you. Have you considered other social media platforms? I have like no time to even do YouTube. That's why like no videos came out for like 3 months, and the only videos that came out were me at like Partizan games and me going to the Eternal Derby football match when I went to Partizan Zvezda, even though all the Partizan fans were doing their boycott. But still, that was a crazy atmosphere. But that's besides the point. I don't even have time for YouTube. So, I mean, maybe one day I'll be able to turn this into full-time work. Who knows? National selection in Serbia is called PZE. Has 30 people from Serbia in 2 semifinals to compete. This is for Eurovision. 8 qualify for the final. Ooh, where the jury and the public gets to choose the winner. That is really cool. That is. Wow. I think, does the public also vote in the regular Eurovision for something? I feel like they do, but I don't fully remember. That's fun. How it's like this almost, how it's this big like national event. Like, okay, we're gonna choose. Wow. Okay, I'm definitely tuning in for that then. Thank you so much for explaining how it worked. I appreciate that. And yeah, Belgrade is not right wing. People are tired of far right, radical right, and just want left parties to rise now. The left, again, I really believe left relative for Serbia, but there was a far left party that actually had a conversation with a member of parliament. This is bad. I should know his name. I didn't get his name when I was meeting with him. He's far left, not just in Serbia, but just if he was in any parliament across Europe, he would be far left wing. He was from the Green Left Front Party. He was one of their leaders. I don't know if how many of you are familiar with the Green Left Front. They are more of like this protest party. It seems like they want to cause disruption, just form protests, movement. But to me, having a conversation, everyone all the American students in my class, all of the Americans that are here, it's a group of, it's only 10 American students that are here, but we all went and we met with him. It didn't seem like he had any plans moving forward. The Green Left Front to me is just kind of like, we want to cause disruption, chaos, and bring forth a new social order, but we don't exactly know how we're going to get there. I don't know much of their policy. That's just what my impression was from the brief conversation. Um, I'm from Belgrade. I don't see it as right wing at all. Been all over the world and not right wing. Been to the U.S. too. Okay, so the reason why I am going to say that it is right wing, not I don't want to say right wing, why it is to the right of the global political spectrum is because of the relations, how people still overwhelmingly want Serbia to be close with Russia, be close with China, have this anti West sentiment, this hatred towards NATO, the inability to normalize relations with Kosovo, and so forth. And to me, that represents right wing ideology. Again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Serbia being close with Russia or the dynamic with Serbia and Kosovo at all. Like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that on a global political spectrum, those are what usually aligns with the conservative ideologies. And to me, that fits in perfectly with what those who are considered conservative in other countries would think. In the United States, and this is why I say, especially with the United States, you tend to have more of the conservative party wanting to end the war in Ukraine in the sense of eliminating Ukrainian funding, which some people say that if Trump had his way, he would just hand over Crimea to Russia. So it's almost like U.S. bolstering their partnership with Russia and the U.S. potentially pulling out of NATO, which I bet a lot of people in Serbia would be very, very happy. A lot of people in Belgrade, well, of course, Serbia as a whole, but specifically Belgrade would be very, very happy if the U.S. pulled out of NATO and U.S. kind of, distanced themselves from the European Union. So that aligns with the American conservative ideology. So in my mind, it's still globally still conservative. Hey Landon, sorry I'm late. Remember me, your biggest fan from Alaska. I've been following along. Just going back to that. I think you're wrong, but okay, respect your opinion. That's fine. I also respect your opinion as well with that. So happily to agree to disagree. I really enjoy having a conversation like this. Sorry I'm late. Remember, your biggest fan from Alaska. I would love to get to Alaska one day. I've been following along on your journey and so proud. We kind of look the same age. I am 20 years old. So thank you for that comment. Yeah, Eurovision is also jury plus the public. I meant 8 from both semifinals in our national selection. So 16 will be in the final. Semi 1 is on the 26th of February. Semi 2 on the 28th of February. The 16 contestants. That's awesome. Like, I wish we had something like that in the U.S. The thing that we have is like American Idol, The Voice, America's Got Talent. But of course, those are entirely different. You're competing as an individual. What I find so cool about the whole Eurovision concept is that, yeah, you're competing with this, and then you go and you represent your country on the national stage. I believe that the ability to represent your country, no matter what country it is one of the greatest honors that anyone can ever have. Song should come out in a week or two, so we can listen before the actual national selection. I love that. I'm in. I'm actually gonna follow this now. This is gonna be fun. Also, like, I love to hear the music, so that's gonna be awesome. I remember that there was a whole big issue with last Eurovision, if I could remember correctly, because Israel competes in it. I could be wrong. Were some countries like boycotting or protesting it or something? I don't remember. I remember there was an issue with Israel in Eurovision. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I was mixing that up with something else. Let's see. U.S. has actually had a Eurovision spinoff. I didn't know that. Okay. I think it was called the American Song Contest. It was canceled after one season. Well, that's unfortunate. I would have watched that. You know what would be really cool? And I know this will never happen. But what if there was a Eurovision equivalency for all continents? That, like it's like soccer, or sorry, football. It's like you have the winner of Eurovision. If there was an Asian version, and African, and North and South American, and Oceania, and then you had all of those winners competing on one global stage, that would be so cool. I know that will never happen, and it won't be able to take off like that globally. But just like imagine it would almost be like Eurovision is the Euro, and then the global one's like the World Cup of this. Speaking of America's Got Talent, I feel like you could be on AGT and get the golden buzzer. I don't know. No. I don't have any talent that would be able to put me on America's Got Talent. I can't sing. I can't dance. No. I would get 4 X's right away. 4 X's. The standards for all continents would differ too much to be appraised. That I could see that, especially with just like different genres of music and so forth. Just how it would make it very difficult, at least with Europe, that music as a whole, it's just how like the people who like type of music that people like in France versus Latvia and Serbia. Of course, there's differences, but it's like overall like relatively similar. So I guess that's why Eurovision goes so well. I don't even know. Like, are there like some like pop rap? If I remember correctly, isn't that mostly like pop or like upbeat songs? This is why I need to get more in tune with Eurovision. Like I said, I knew the contest existed. I didn't know much beyond that after the fact. The Israeli contestant harassed Irish, the Greek, and some other contestants, but they still get to compete while Russia and Belarus get banned. So kind of a double standard. Damn. The geopolitical dramas coming into these competitions. One thing that drives me crazy when it comes to the Olympics and to tennis is that, oh my God, the Russian athletes cannot compete under the Russian flag. Like how Medvedev can't compete under the Russian flag in tennis, or you have to have the Russian Olympic Committee, the ROC, during the Olympics. Like, these athletes aren't involved in the war whatsoever. They're not. Why are they? And why are reporters asking them to take political stances on this? Like, that should not be happening. So what? Daniil Medvedev, one of the greatest tennis players in the world, has to say either, oh, I don't want to take a stance on this. And then the Western world, it's like, oh, well, you are going up against, you are taking the stance of Putin, and we are going to hate you for that. Or he says, oh, I hate the war. I wish we would get rid of Putin and all that. And then he can't go back to Russia ever again. So that drives me crazy. Like, these athletes, if they want to talk politics, they can. But reporters shouldn't be going and asking them these political questions. And like I said, they don't have anything to do with the war. At the end of January, there's a semifinal draw for the Eurovision. So we got to hope Serbia gets gets put with Croatia, Slovenia, Montenegro, so they can vote for us. So with the draw, with that then, is it like a, do you expect, is it an expectation that the former Yugoslav states will work together with that? I saw a study that I found was actually really interesting, and then 15 minutes left, and I'm going to log off because talking for, at this point now, an hour and 45 minutes straight, it actually gets very tiring. I saw a study that was like, would you support, or do you, sorry, I lost my train of thought. What country do you want Serbia to align with most politically? And the answers, as you would expect, Number ones were Russia. Some people picked China, actually. Some people picked the European Union. But only 10%, 1 in 10 people said that they think Serbia should align most in terms of both politics and just trade partners and just overall relations with the former Yugoslav states. And that was surprising. I would have thought that, especially because of how much Yugo nostalgia is in Serbia, that people would have wanted to still have Serbia be associated with Croatia, Montenegro, and so forth. But yeah, that's going off on a different thing. I'll go back to the Israel thing in a second. Sorry, I'm going to have to log off. I'll see you next time. Don't let too much pass before your next live. Thank you so much for joining. I hope to see you on the next one. Beatrice, I appreciate you. I have honestly no idea when my next live stream is going to be. Probably not for a long time. We'll see. But I'll give notice in advance so people can join on. And actually, maybe I'll do one by the end of January. I could do one by the end of January. We'll see. We'll see. I'll get back to you on that. Okay, but going back to... But the only reason Israel isn't banned as well is because of the sponsor of Eurovision, Moroccan Oil, is Israeli. If they kick them, they will lose the biggest sponsor. That makes sense. That makes sense. Especially with how much influence that Israel has in Europe and just the sheer wealth that they have. I mean, they're one of the wealthiest countries for in terms of GDP per capita. The Israelis are mighty and powerful, so that makes sense. Yeah, Croatia and Serbia are besties in Eurovision. Basically, Macedonia doesn't compete. Bosnia is kind of banned. They have a big debt to Eurovision. Wait, what do we mean Bosnia is kind of banned? Oh, God. I didn't even... What is this Eurovision drama that is taking place? I wonder why Macedonia doesn't compete as well. Maybe is there just not enough people in the country and so forth, and they're not so much musically inclined? I don't know. But I'm really curious. What's this debt that Bosnia has? Are we talking debt as in money, like a monetary value? That would be interesting. Let's see. Generally, there is regional banding up together in the continent. Okay, that's cool because of the overall stances, like the Balkans being more to the right, for example. But almost all southeastern European countries have kind of given up on paying for Eurovision at this point. Wow. See, I'm learning stuff left and right about this competition. Okay, that's really cool. Also, I wish the southeastern European countries would be able to compete in this more. Let's see. I missed a comment. Arjun is being very needy, so I'll have to log off soon. Hope, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you logging on. Have fun in Serbia. Thank you. Stay out of trouble. You don't seem like that type. Don't worry, I'll be staying out of trouble. Hopefully next live soon. And I appreciate you for also joining again. My live stream will be ending literally when 1 o'clock in Belgrade hits. 7 p.m. for the New Yorkers who are watching this. Macedonia competes in Junior Eurovision. I didn't even know that was a thing. Okay. They don't have the money for the regular one. I think Bosnia owes 1 million euros. What? Wait, what? They owe Eurovision money? They don't have enough money for the regular one? Do you have to pay to do Eurovision? If you do, that's so dumb. That doesn't make any sense why you would need to pay. Okay. What? They don't see profit in it and see it as supporting weird values. Okay, I could see. I mean, I don't know for certain, but I could kind of picture the values that Eurovision promotes, and I could see how certain countries don't want to become associated with that. Macedonia never qualified in the final anyway, so I guess they gave up. Damn, Macedonia being quitters. Come on. That's That's unfortunate. You don't like to. You have a chance to represent your country on a continental stage. I think, especially for a state like Macedonia, uh, that a state like Macedonia that doesn't necessarily get that people don't really recognize it as like being an important country in Europe. Like, take the opportunity to be able to get viewership, be able to get recognition, and be able to show the world why people should be proud to be Macedonian. Did Eurovision exist during the time of Yugoslavia? If so, did Yugoslavia even compete in it? Um, let's see. Yeah, every country pays for Eurovision. That's crazy. That's great. It's based on population as well. What? What? I know, again, very different concept, but can you imagine if countries had to pay to compete in the World Cup for football? Hope, are you sure you're in Belgrade? What do you mean, am I sure I'm in Belgrade? Look at all the videos I've been putting up in Belgrade. Um, this backdrop that's behind that you see here, that's not my picture. As I said, because all for storage space, I keep my storage. I put them up first on the computer, and then I move them also off my computer onto an external hard drive. This is just a photo from online. You can see the top of Saint Sava. That's right there. Yeah, Yugoslavia won once. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. Today, if Yugoslavia still existed, going to football with the World Cup, there's no doubt that Yugoslavia would be one of the best countries in the world for football. I mean, we saw how in 2018, Croatia alone went to the World Cup final. So I know there aren't really many good footballers from Slovenia or from Bosnia or Macedonia or Montenegro, but you add the Serbian footballers who are there, put them on the Croatian roster. Whew, that would be lethal. You have Georgi Petrovic from. I have been following him for a long time because of his time at the New England Revolution. I am a huge MLS fan, diehard MLS fan. Let's see. Yugoslavia won and hosted Eurovision just before it was destroyed. Well, that's awesome that they won it, and that they hosted it. So I assume hosted it late 80s then. No, but at the moment, are you in Belgrade? My curiosity is getting the best of me. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what to say. You'll see my videos on Belgrade was just released. You'll see my video on Niche coming out. God, it's killing me. Do I have no? My Niche video is coming out Tuesday, right? Yeah. Okay, Niche video coming out Tuesday, and then Novi Sad coming out on Friday. I should know my posting schedule better than that. Yeah, a band from Croatia won, so that's why the contest was held in Zagreb that year. Okay. And in 2006, Serbia and Montenegro quit because the jury basically hated each other, and then the country broke up. Okay, Serbia won in 2007. Won Eurovision? Is that what that's referring to? That would be. I hope Serbia won Eurovision. That would be so cool. Hope says, okay, bye-bye. Bye, Hope. Thank you so much for joining. And then guys, I am ending this at 7 p.m. New York time sharp, 1 o'clock Belgrade time. So hope one of my New York viewers. So 7 o'clock there. So bye. So because the band was from Croatia, the one that won Eurovision, I'm wondering, does Croatia then claim that Eurovision title? Even though it was Yugoslavia, because they were from Croatia, saying that. Yeah, Serbia is the only country that won on the debut year, if you don't count the first Eurovision. That's awesome. I love that. That's really cool. Hopefully Serbia can get back to that and win it again. Whew. Wow. Now I'm starting to get really tired. I'm starting to get so exhausted. It's just been me talking nonstop for about 2 hours. And of course, I mean, the time of day it is now. I'm exhausted. So for my Serbian listeners watching this on a Friday night, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Also curious, ads have monetization is on for this, so ads have been playing. I'm keeping it going on my phone as well, just to make sure that everything is going smoothly. And I've noticed that ads are popping up quite frequently on my phone. It seems like to me that the ads are popping up too much, and I don't want a disruption for the viewers. So let me know like kind of how often you're getting the ads. I hope it's not that bad. No, unfortunately, no one claimed that victory. All medals in sports that Yugoslavia got were given to Serbia. Oh wow, that's awesome. I mean, I guess that makes sense then if capital Yugoslavia was Belgrade. Oh, let's see. What else? What else could I talk about during my final? All right, 3 minutes left. 3 minutes left. Oh, I have nine viewers there on right now. That's awesome. That's new record for me. Well, I think at one point it peaked up to like 14 or 15 during this, but I love having 9 people. Having some water. That would be cool for the next live stream. It's not just me talking. What if I had some copyright-free background music doing this? I find that background music, and that's why I have it in all my videos. I should probably lower the background music in my videos, but people, it keeps people locked in more. I don't know the psychology behind it, but for some reason, when there's background music, people are more in tuned and willing to like view things longer. So I guess perhaps, and also like music's fun, but making sure it's not copyright, that's a pain because YouTube very well will copyright strike things. All right, we got 2 minutes left. 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning, and then we end in this. Final comments. Thank you both. Thank you Tom and Houston for or Thomas. Is it Thomas Lever 7? Thank you to both for nonstop being in the chat during this. I really appreciate that. I had such a fun time tonight. Let me read the final comment. Yugoslavia was built on Serbian institutions. Makes sense. And I didn't know this until I moved to Belgrade that Tito wasn't even Serbian. So, I mean, that was interesting. I just kind of expected that he would be, or that he was. Let's see, countries broke away from Serbia, so kind of obvious they wouldn't get the medals. Serbia is not considered legally the only successor of Yugoslavia due to the politics of the 1990s, political and economic sanctions. Valid. But it's still practically considered that Serbia is the continuation of Yugoslavia and of Serbia before that. Okay, I mean, you recognize Serbia is definitely the most like Yugoslav country that's remaining. I love that. Tomislav or Tom. All right, Tomislav, thank you so much. And good night, Houston. Laku noć to you both. Laku noć. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. All right, I'm going to bed too. All right, Laku